Hello there folks and welcome back. Today we're reviewing possibly one of the best long-range tactical hunting scopes on the market. That's the Vortex Razor LHT, and it's 3-15x42, and it features the HSR i5 MOA reticle, or if you choose to get the scope in a mil version, it comes with the HSR 5i mil reticle. So like I said, this can come in either mil or MOA. Anyways, it features a 30mm main tube. The construction of the scope is one-piece aircraft-grade aluminum, that's 6061 T6 aluminum, with a hard anodized finish that's extremely abrasion and scratch resistant. It features, like I said, a 42mm objective, which gives you a good clear sight picture while not adding a lot of bulk or weight to your scope. Also, it's a variable power scope. Its magnification adjustment ring is right here at the rear, and it goes 3 at the lowest to 15 power. So 3 times to 15 times magnification. Perfect and optimal for Western hunters looking to make long-range shots on antelope. Anyways, if I can go ahead here and just test out this magnification ring, it's very smooth. There's no hiccups, grind, or grit in the magnification ring. It is a little bit on the stiff side, but not too stiff to operate, or not loose enough to accidentally move when you don't want it to. Another feature of this scope is that it has an adjustable eyepiece. Now, it's not a fast focus eyepiece that you see on most scopes here at the rear, but because this one is designed to be ultra lightweight and for hunting, it comes with a locking ring that you twist to unlock. See if I can get it. It's actually quite stiff. You turn the objective of the scope right here. The eye box, you can adjust this ring. When you get it in the right spot, you can tighten it right up to where you want it and lock that in place. It's a little bit harder to adjust than a fast focus eyepiece, but it's going to lock in place and it's going to be a lighter and simpler option for hunting. Of course, you come forward and you have open tactical turret for the elevation knob. This turret comes all aluminum with some knurling on the top so you can grip it easily. It's a locking turret. You lift up on the turret and unlocks so you can rotate it to adjust your elevation for those shots. To lock it, you push it straight down. This feature allows it not to get accidentally rotated and come off zero or be dialed wrong when you pull up your rifle in a quick shot. If this rubs on a backpack or brush, I have had scopes that didn't have locking turrets that actually did accidentally get moved. So this prevents that. Coming over to the other side, you have a windage turret that is actually capped. It comes with a knurled aluminum cover, and then it has a turret inside that is also aluminum with some knurling on it and markings for every quarter MOA or 1 MOA right or left. It is not locking, so you don't have to lift up on it, and you can reset it by simply using a penny, a quarter, or a flathead screwdriver to remove the cap to reset it. The reason, see if I can get this on there correctly. The reason that is capped is because this is a purpose-driven scope specifically for Western hunting or hunting in areas where your possibility is taking long shots as well as close. So it goes down to 3 power so you can make those close-in shots, but it also extends out to 15 power so you can make those longer shots. And there's no reason to adjust your windage on the fly and have that involved and overcomplicate things when you can simply use holdovers in the reticle itself. As you can see, it comes with a dot on the scope body to indicate when it's zeroed, both for the elevation and windage. On this side over here, we have a parallax adjustment knob. If I can hold this in one hand, it's quite smooth. There's no grit or grind. It goes all the way from 20 yards to 500 yards and then infinity. And on the outside of this, you also have, let me adjust this other screen over here, you also have a push button illuminated reticle. Now this is kind of similar to a Leupold fire dot. You push in as far as how it looks in the reticle, not how it operates. You push in on this button firmly, it's going to turn on the bright red reticle inside, the dot. It does not illuminate the entire reticle, it just illuminates your center focus dot or your center crosshair dot. So that's something to note. Now, the reticle itself is a simplified version of a long-range or tactical reticle or Christmas tree style reticle, specifically so that it's not overcluttered for hunting purposes. It has holdover dots for windage and elevation at every 1 MOA and is marked at every 5 MOA. Now, anyways, let's come back here. The eye relief on this is 3.8 inches, which is good, and that is sufficient for heavier recoiling rifles, and that makes this a very usable scope. I don't like to see eye relief below that 3.5 inch range, because if you have this mounted on a rifle and you choke up on it to get a good sight picture because it doesn't have enough eye relief and it's a heavy recoiling, you can scope yourself easier that way. The field of view at 100 yards is 35.3 feet to 7 feet at the highest magnification. It has locking turrets also. Another thing to mention is you can remove to reset the zero on this using a quarter or penny for the elevation as well. And it has a very simple zero stop mechanism inside that does come to a very hard stop and is easy to set. It has 0.25 MOA adjustment, or if you get the mil radian version, it has 1/10 MOA per click, or 1/10 mil per click, and the MOA version has 1/4 MOA per click. The travel per rotation of the elevation dial is 15 MOA, and it has a maximum elevation of 80 MOA. So you can adjust this 80 MOA in the elevation and 80 MOA in the windage. So plenty of elevation to be able to make those extremely long range shots if you want to also use this at the range and not on game at those distances. Like I said, it's 13.3 inches long, so pretty compact. And here's the real kicker. It's 19.1 ounces. That's extremely, extremely light for what the features this has. It has an illuminated reticle, has an adjustable side parallax, and it has 80 MOA of adjustment. That is incredible to come in at 19.1 ounces with premium Japanese glass. And by the way, this entire scope is made in Japan. So to compare that to the Vortex, I think it's the Vortex VX5 HD, which is kind of the competitor to this scope. That one comes in at, I believe, 19.7 ounces, just a hair heavier. But anyhow, and it has 75 MOA of adjustment in the elevation, not 80. However, they're both good scopes. The glass in this, when I took it out and looked through it initially, is absolutely stunning. This is some of the best glass I've ever looked through. Certainly very, very high-end, very great glass. I would say it's a little bit better than the Leupold VX5 HD, but not much. But I would say the glass is a little bit better in this. So absolutely amazing glass in this. Let's go ahead and take a look more at this turret. I pull up. I don't know if you can hear that. It's actually pretty quiet. I like a loud turret, but I think that this was purposely designed to be quiet, just loud enough for you to hear, but not too loud for hunting purposes. It does line up nicely with the hash mark on the body every click. However, there is a little bit of slop, and the tactileness of it is a little bit more mushy and sloppy than I would expect in a scope in this price range. I feel like the turret design is far superior on the Leupold. However, on this scope, it's still very good. And I think maybe it was purposely even designed that way for hunting purposes. It's quieter. It also allows you to not require quite as fine motor skills, as there's a little bit of more play, which gives you a little bit, if you're in a rush and you have adrenaline running and you're trying to dial this, or you have gloves on, if it's really close tolerances and stiffer, you might accidentally over dial easier or under dial easier. So it could be that they made it that way on purpose, but I do prefer the Leupold a little bit better, a little bit louder, a little bit more tactile, and feels a little bit more precise. Also, the capped turret on the Windage is even a little bit more cheap feeling than the Elevation one. So everything but that I like about this scope. Those are things that, I feel like they could have done a little bit better job on. Now, another thing to mention is it comes, of course, with your bikini cover a lens wipe, and it comes with an included sunshade. Of course, it comes with a guide that tells you about the reticle and explains the reticle to you. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at that. Like, it has markings, excuse me, I said 5 MOA, so it has numeric markings every 4, 8, and 12 MOA for Windage, 8, 16, 24, and 32 MOA for elevation, and every hash mark is at 2 MOA, not 1 MOA, so I did get that wrong. But anyways, it's a very usable, purpose-driven reticle, not too cluttered at all. I'll just go ahead and kind of just, I know it's not as professional, but I'll show you what the reticle looks like right there. Anyways, so overall a great scope. When you illuminate the dot in the middle, there's not a lot of washout or anything like that. It's a very precise, very clear, easy to see reticle. It's not too thick and fat. It's not too thin to see, just right. So I do recommend you take a look at this scope if you're looking for a very lightweight scope that you can use both for long range shooting at the range and for extended range hunting. Although keep your shots ethical and don't overextend yourself. Remember that you need to be a good steward of the wildlife and be a responsible and ethical individual while making those shots. Now, for some people that might be 50 yards, for some people that might be 600 yards, but that's a takeaway from this is always be responsible, and don't take shots you're not confident and comfortable making. Anyways, this is the review of the Vortex Razor LHT 3-15x42 Riflescope.